Hi everyone, Lisa here from Forest City Stitching. I hope everyone's having a good week and is having a good Easter. I have lots to share. I finished a couple things. You're only going to see one of those things. And I have some yarn to share for haul. And we can go over my stitching and plans. So, yeah, so to start off our Easter, nothing too exciting. The Easter Bunny did come this morning, and we are going to have Easter dinner, just the three of us tonight, and that's all. It's been a very chillaxing weekend. Otherwise, on a personal note, on Wednesday, I had my procedure to have tubes inserted into my ears, which is great. I can hear everything again, and the pressure is gone. So I'm glad that my ENT finally came around to doing that for me again. So seems kind of weird to need that at my age, as it's typically a thing that happens as a child, but for some reason my tubes don't open and close like they should anymore. So this helps them along, and yeah, relieves a lot of pressure in my ears. So it's very good. And yeah, you don't realize what you can't hear until you hear it again. Like my furnace is very loud, my fridge is very loud, the HVAC system at work is very loud, my keyboard is very loud. Yeah, there's lots of loud things. All right. I'm trying to figure out what I want to talk about next, because I actually wrote a couple notes, things that I don't want to forget. But all right, let's look at my haul. So as I mentioned, my haul is yarn. Sorry for the crinkling. But I received this yarn from Timber Yarns a couple weeks ago. I meant to show it last week, but I forgot. They're having a sale. So I got some more sock yarn. I was all gung-ho and convinced to start some socks, but I had to order a 9-inch circular in the size I needed, and I don't even think it's shipped yet. So, and I ordered that last Sunday. So, little disappointed in that. I was hoping to be able to start something this week, because Carmen from Cardamom Pins has really inspired me. I just want to make sure I mention her in the description box below. And yeah, she's really inspired me because she has really jumped into sock knitting without really knitting anything else. So I think that means I can do it, right? All right, and then yesterday, Hoco Fiber Co was at the farmer's market in Elmer. So if you're in the area, that might mean something to you. So I talked my son into going with me to that, so I could get some more yarn. So I picked up this, which is called Minimalist Confetti. The yarn base is Dove DK, and yeah, so she was recommending this to me for a pair of socks. So I picked that up. And then I picked up these two colors, which is in the Forget Me Not colorway and So this yarn base she calls Ingrid, which is, this particular one is a fingerling sock. So I don't think the other Ingrid I'm using for my shawl, I'm pretty sure it's a worsted, so now I'm a little bit confused on her naming conventions, but that's fine. And then this is called Eloise is the yarn base, which is a lace. So this is 70% silk, no, 70% mohair and 30% silk. So I'm going to knit these together double. That's right, terminology, and I'm hoping to make a cowl out of it. So that's what those look like. So yeah, Elizabeth, the owner, is very sweet. She always takes the time to explain the different yarns to me and what I can do with it. And yeah, she makes me feel very comfortable because I don't know anything about the different yarns. So still trying to get all that wrapped around in my head. Yeah. All right. And then let's jump into, so I had 2 finishes and 2 fully finishes, but you're only going to see 1 fully finish. So my 2 finishes, the one is the model stitch I was doing for Karen at KB Studio Creations, and so that's done. I have it in an envelope to send back to Karen, except, and she knows this, I already messaged her, but I ran out of one color of floss. So she said that she still has that skein because she had sent me a couple strands of it because I didn't have it. And yeah, like only like 30 stitches or something like that. It's not very much at all that I was missing. And so she's going to finish that off. But I'm counting that as a finish. So you will see that from her once she decides to release that. But it was a very fun, easy stitch. I like her patterns because they're very symmetrical. And I don't typically enjoy borders necessarily, but the border on this one was also fun. So those are my teasers in that future release from her. And then I fully finished my Smalls Exchange for Stitch North. It was, excuse me, a piece that I had finished last year. So I think that's when I finished it. It was just a small little stitch that I put in my box of shame. So I just, for my Smalls Exchange, I just went to that box of my finished pieces that nothing has happened to yet, and picked out something that I thought someone would like. So I finished that up into a little pillow. And now I just need to figure out what I want to kind of put with it as any extras. But that is done. So that is good. But the fully finished I can show you is this guy. So this is Easter Bunny from Autumn Lane Stitchery. So I just finished him into a little pillow. Had a hard time deciding what backing fabric to use. I almost put some birds on it, but then I'm like, well, that's not really related. I was really drawn to more dotted fabric, but then I thought that might be too much with the dots in the actual fabric. Those flowers stand out okay. And so I went with daisies because those look like daisies there. So yeah, that's what he looks like. I did post a picture on my Instagram of all my little Easter smalls. I don't want anyone to think that I actually have my life together and, you know, decorate seasonally all the time or intentionally or anything like that. Because beside that is my Year Celebrations monthly piece, and it's January still, because I don't have any other months between January and now finished, not even stitched. February started and I do have May finished. I did pull some fabric for May, so hopefully I might be able to get that one actually fully finished and put up. We'll see. Before May or for May. It doesn't need to go up before. But yeah, I don't want anyone to think that that little dough bowl stuff I posted was any indication of how non-chaotic my house is. So, but yeah, so that's that. I do want to thank Karen the Owl Stitcher for the encouragement to finish this little guy, because she had commented on my video last week saying, oh, hopefully you can get that done for Easter or something along that lines, because I had mentioned how little I'd left to do. It hadn't even crossed my mind to even think about finishing it for Easter, so thank you, Karen, for putting that bug in my ear, because yeah, there's literally like 100 stitches and some back stitching left on him, so so he got done. Also, Karen's going to be my travel buddy and roommate for Stitch North Weekend 1. She messaged me last week and she got one of the open spots, so yay. So we will have a good time there. All right, what else have I been stitching? So Sunday, after I filmed, because I hadn't stitched on anything at that point, I don't believe, I pulled out Ruskin's Penguins. And I worked on that penguin there. I have hanging thread because I had switched to some white. What's that? Eddie and Patsy I worked on for 3 days. So from Maximum Cross Stitch, earring is stuck to needle minder. Oh, and then my thread was stuck to my needle. Okay, just a lot of chaos happening here. One moment. And still just working on that branch. A lot of colors in that branch. Endurance came out for another 100 stitches to finish up my 1,000 stitch goal for WIPCO. There we go. So just kind of worked on that green in the middle there. So now it's off my stand. A little bit easier to show when it's off the stand. When it's on the 30-inch rods, it's kind of, even me moving my stand up and down the stairs is, yeah, it's kind of a disaster. Things get hit and whatnot. He then also worked on, not very many stitches, about 50 stitches on, I'll show you this. Yep. So this was a freebie chart in our side bag last year at Stitch North. And I just worked a little bit more in the middle. I'm using the color Rudolph. That was in the holiday countdown from last year, 2022. It's like one of my favorite reds, but I don't think it's one that's going to be dyed again. Then the last couple days, I've been working on Garden Cat by Satsuma Street. Now, this is one of my WIPCO calls for April. I don't typically work on it early, but I needed 750 stitches in something that was colorful, bright, and cartoonish. So I didn't have anything else that checked all 3 boxes. I didn't feel as well as this. So I started it a couple days early for my April WIPCO. That's okay. And my goal for this is 1,000 stitches for WIPCO. So if I get 750 in it, and then I'm doing well. So you'll probably see that again next week. I have a couple hundred more stitches to put into it. So that's all my stitching. So what else I wanted to talk about as far as plans go are, well, Katie, the novel stitcher, she is starting a kind of a stitching book club where she is recommending a book for us to either listen to or read, and then encouraging us to either start or work on a WIP that can be related to that book. And again, obviously, all of this is optional. Maybe you don't want to read the book that month, or maybe you just want to work on whatever WIPs you want. You know, that's completely up to you. But it is going to, so this starting April 1st, and we'll have April and May to read and work on our stitches. And then she is going to be putting together a Zoom meeting near the end of May for a bit of a discussion. So the book that she has chosen is called A Single Thread. I didn't write down the author because that would make too much sense, but it's called A Single Thread. I was able to check it out online through Libby, so I'm going to listen to it as an audiobook through my library. And then I was looking for a stitching related piece that I could work on or start. I almost ordered Gathering Stitches by Luminous Fiber Arts, because that is one that I want to start and I think would be a good one for in relation to this, because it is a monochromatic piece as well. But I was looking at my patterns and trying to organize that a little bit yesterday, which I still need to finish doing, because then you realize what you actually have. What a novelty. But I came across Mice in the Sewing Room. So I feel like that is a pretty perfect stitch to go with this read. I pulled some, I think it's like an 18 count panettone, and I have half of the floss maybe. So I did have to make a list of the other colors that I need. So I've done that. But that is going to be a start tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, I think that is everything for me. The categories letters was announced for WIP Warriors, and it's F. And I was able to come up with my whips pretty quickly for that. So I have that all sorted. My other Whip Go piece is Rooster and Hens, which is a finish. And there's really not too much left on that. So there's no reason for that not to be finished. Yeah, so then we only have a couple, 2.5 weeks until Stitch North. So that's exciting. And it's actually my birthday on the 20th. So the Saturday of Stitch North is my birthday. So that was nice that Caroline decided to plan a party like that for me, isn't it? All right, so that is all that I had, and we will talk to you next week.